Well, it's a bigger video, and Helen, the Super Bowl is on right now as we speak, and ain't fucking no one trying anymore with these Super Bowl commercials. Nobody's trying.
Yeah, I am not watching. My friend Nick is having a Super Bowl party, but I gotta play tour guide for my buddy tomorrow, so I am not attending. I figure I need to be in reasonable shape.
You need to be in working order to be able to do that. I'm also going to full disclosure, I am high right now. Um, I have a I have a bridge in my, like a tooth bridge, right? And the gum is infected under it and it hurts. It's hurt all day, pretty much nonstop. So it's okay right now, but it's not going to be like that for long. So if I just start screaming during this, um, yeah,
Buddy,
what are you going to do?
I had a gum infection when I was like 17, and that was horrible. So I feel you.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing that's ever happened. I'll be honest with you there. Feeling okay right now, but it's touch and go. Also, I wolfed down some fucking noodles like about 45 minutes ago, and I'm just burping like crazy. So it's gonna be that kind of day. Also,
Cool.
Elon Musk spent $40 million on a Super Bowl ad.
For what? For what?
Oh, to justify dismantling USAID. Yeah. Yep.
On the plus side, your bracelet is ready.
I will have that on soon.
I will mail that to you
Attached
tomorrow.
to my Fitbit. Yeah, and we're gonna do a beer hunt next week since I know you advised it was gonna be kind of freezing cold this week, so it might be not be a great week for shipping. So they're coming.
Cool.
Yeah. I think Philadelphia's maybe gonna score. Nah, maybe not. Um, yeah, so
Well,
beers. I don't remember who went first last week, and since I'm not in my
I
office,
did. You
yeah,
will
good
go first.
memory. Good memory.
I about the beer I have just off camera. I bought it purposely to piss you off.
Okay. I'm even more excited now. So we're going back to Rusty Rail Brewing. We've done a bunch of their beers before. But I like this can a lot. It's called Dread Wolf. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout with coffee and oatmeal.
Let me see that can. Let me see that can now. Okay. I I assumed it was a Dragon Age thing and I got really excited and looks like maybe
Oh,
not, but um, still that is cool. Give me one of those.
okay. This is not super local, but yeah, they're in Pennsylvania. I just don't know where. But I guess
I need it for Dragon Age nerd reasons. Trust me, ask Jaden, they'll know.
yes. Anyway,
They're a Dragon Age fan, right? Like,
I think
okay.
so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, they're playing No Man's Sky right now. I need to go back into that game. That game just looks incredible. Like it's like an outer space dream. It's amazing. So bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stealth coffee and oatmeal, 9.2%. Yeah, there's really not much else you can say about it than that. And because it's the Super Bowl, I'm drinking out of a Jack Ham glass. Yes, I know it says Coors Light on it. It's who made the glass or who sponsored the glass, but Jack Ham was one of the Steelers of the 70s and a good man, I guess. I've never met him. So, well, Philadelphia scored, so if this keeps up, Philadelphia may be on fire by the time you see this beer video from them burning the city to the ground. So that's how it's going. Nice bit of foam and yeah, not much of a scent. Whoa, heavy coffee presence. That is like up front and away. The coffee just nails you from the taste and from the bitterness. Do they have the IBUs on here? Uh, hmm, no. Okay. It's got to be high up there. This is pretty bitter. And again, I like a bitter beer. I know a lot of people don't. So If you don't like a bitter beer, maybe stay away from this one. It's pretty bitter. Um, but once you cut past the bitterness, it's a very well made stout. It's nice and creamy. Um, yeah, that bitterness is really there. But for sure, the coffee, like right up front, the first thing that got me was the coffee. I got to be honest, I'm not getting much of a bourbon sense to this at all. Usually, you can, obviously taste the those barrels they've been soaking in there. They do that for a reason. Not getting a lot of that, but I can't really say I miss it. Um, just because there's so many other flavors going on with this that I think kind of pulling back on that isn't the worst thing in the world. It kind of lets these other things stand out. Um, yeah, pretty good. And again, if you don't like bitter beers, definitely avoid this one because it's fucking bitter. Excuse me, but
Actually,
I like bitter beers.
definitely if you can find me one, send it to me because I really like bitter stouts. I feel like with a lot of imperial stouts, um, people really give in too much to the urge to make them super sweet and
Uh-huh.
like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just like kind of a dark, nasty beer. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what this is. I mean, there's not like I said, the coffee is there. There's definitely a heavy coffee presence, but no, it's not sweet. Like there's no sweetness. Um, or at least not much. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There is some, but it's not overly. It's not like a dessert beer. It's not like an overly flavored stout. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with this one.
Cool. Brian, did you get your nails done
Oh,
recently?
I did. I got them done yesterday.
Cool.
I don't know what the color is, but the girl who did it said it reminded her of an oil slick, and it's pretty accurate. So if you can imagine an oil slick, that's kind of the color.
I did mine myself today. This is Mooncat and this is Death Valley Nails, and I don't remember the names of the colors either, but those are both really good indie nail polish brands. So if anyone paints their nails, highly recommend both of them.
There you go. Yeah. And I don't paint them myself. Yeah, I go somewhere to get them done because if I did them myself, it would look not great. I have some past history to prove that, and I don't do it. So
Yeah. You also have really short nails, and those
yeah,
that can be harder to
yeah,
negotiate, I think. Like I've noticed like if I paint my nails right after I've trimmed them, like I it just looks more messy.
yeah. I have her trim them down. I don't like to have long nails on me because I'm really good at scratching myself in the eye and various other places. So I'm just never
Um,
comfortable with it.
you do martial arts, it's very important to trim your both your finger and your toenails.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah.
I've got some stories, man. Like I think one time I let like one nail on my hand grow out too much. And I was grappling with my friend Emma and like I grabbed her gi lapel and she like kind of wrenched away from my grasp kind of fast and like half my nail tore off.
Yeah, I didn't know where that was going.
Yeah, yeah. I also even in Aikido, like I my partner in one exercise, like I guess had not trimmed his toenail, so like he kind of bashed his foot against mine and like gashed my foot open with his toenail.
Ugh.
I like had to bunny hop off the mat, leaving a trail of blood. So I guess my point is fucking trim your nails, kid.
Fingernails. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your shirt? Let me see that.
Oh, I made this shirt. It says Warren fucking Zevon.
Okay, I thought that was an Elizabeth Warren thing for a second.
No, it's Warren Zevon.
You know,
I made the shirt on Zazzle. I think I'm gonna make some others like Tom fucking Petty and you know, different things like that. But first one I decided to do, I was in the shower and I was high in the shower, and I don't remember
yeah.
which Warren Zevon song came on, but I was like, Warren, I just said to myself, Warren fucking Zevon, and I was like, that should be on a shirt. So I
Yeah,
checked to see if somebody
yeah.
already made one, and they didn't. So I just made one on Zazzle.
Well, I'm wearing a Bastion shirt for the album Patricidal Lust, and a hoodie over it because it's Minnesota and it's fucking cold.
Oh, yeah.
That is
I mean, it's cold here, but it's not. It's like I don't even want to say cold. It's not cold compared to where you are. It's fine.
Right, so I'm gonna bring out this beer that
Oh
I bought
boy.
you. Okay, so it is called Briny
I
Scalloway.
knew it. I knew it was
Oh,
going to be a pickle beer.
oh yeah.
I'm not mad. I don't have to drink it, so I don't give a shit. Drink all the pickle beers you want.
It's from Just Plain Wrong Brewing. I have never had any of their beers just because like prior to they'd only sold them in those like those little keg cans,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah,
is always like slightly more beer than I want to drink in one sitting.
yeah.
So, but yeah, it is 6% ABV, kind of strong for it goes. As I understand it, goes as our like a salted sour, basically.
Yeah.
That is, I think, what sequence technically is.
Okay, okay, yeah.
We're both great sequence fans here. I think we talked about this. So I'm pouring it in the pupper's glass. The logo isn't really going to show up because this beer is rather light in
No,
color.
you can see it. I can see it right there. Or
Okay.
is that your shirt? That actually might be the design of your shirt. Never mind.
Um,
Oh, there
very
it is. I see it now. Yeah, yeah.
mild head. Smells like pickle brine, yes.
Everyone's favorite.
Okay.
That's not a great face.
Well, I was going to say this is not for you, but for me, I think this is a terrific beer, actually.
Oh, okay. Your face betrayed you.
Yeah, my thoughts were like, I like this. This is really nice, and then like, oh man, Brian would fucking hate this.
But it's fine. Like I don't have to drink all the beers. Like, they can be for other people.
Yeah, I think I had a that pickle sour from Deschutes that I tried. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think you tried it as well.
I think that's the beer video I did. Yeah.
I thought it was a little too much. Like they kind of salted it a bit too heavily, but this I think has the right balance.
Yeah. Yeah, it was almost like a broth from like the consistency and the saltiness. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so weirdly, I've had like a couple pickle beers, right?
Yeah.
And um, I think most of the time all you can really taste is salt and dill, but there's like kind of a nice cucumber flavor.
Oh, that's
Like,
interesting.
um, I don't know. I've had cucumber beers before and quite fond of them. So
Yeah.
I'm yeah, damn. I avoided this brewery for a minute just because frankly I think their logo's a little cringe, but
Jeez. What are they called again?
just plain wrong.
Just plain wrong. Okay.
Right. I don't know. Very
Pop that into my phone. Go ahead.
uh, um it's very like you probably frequented Hot Topic a lot in the early 2000s and
I do now.
whatever. 40 years old and I'm from rural Maine and I used to go to the mall a lot, so I'm not
Yeah.
judging, you know. Um anyway, yeah. I've been kind of waffling on trying this brewery just because like, I didn't want to get like the big keg can necessarily.
Yeah.
Um if it was like because I didn't really know like what their whole deal was, but yeah, this beer's really nice. So I definitely want to try out more of their stuff.
Well, there you go. You came in through the pickles and, maybe we'll find something less offensive to have next time.
Yeah,
Less.
I had a couple stouts I was looking at that looked nice. So
Yeah.
hopefully one of we'll grab one.
Yeah, you should. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I lost my train of thought. That's good. That's the marijuana. My short-term memory, not great whenever this happens, but sometimes not remembering things that just happened is not that bad.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe we will enter the cool zone here. Uh,
John
yeah,
Fetterman's office got fucking heavily picketed this week. Heavily. And when people showed up at the office, they found that nobody was there. Like The whole staff was working from home. Who knows where John is? Um,
Yeah, man. That is,
but he
I
said
have
he's not
made
going to
some
support RFK or Tulsi Gabbard, so maybe it
bad,
worked.
good. I have made some bad political calls in my lifetime.
Me too.
I think Fetterman is going to be one of the worst. I mean,
Yeah,
granted, my stupid little opinion didn't matter that much because I don't live in Pennsylvania, but uh man, like I really should have paid more attention to people saying like trying to bring up some stuff about his record, which is less than flattering.
yeah,
And
same
I'm talking
thing.
about more like his support for fracking, like than the holding the guy at gunpoint, because
Yeah,
yeah, like that wasn't great, but the guy also came out and endorsed him, so you know.
true. Just not the most flattering portrait of John Fetterman, but um, yeah, I don't know. So maybe that worked. Uh, it does seem
One
like
can hope, like, what the fuck, man? Like, I mean, granted his opponent was Dr. Oz, so
oh, sure. Yeah. Wait, isn't he going to be in the cabinet somewhere?
probably
I think they appointed him. I think every dumb schmuck from television is somewhere going to be somewhere on his cabinet.
Linda
Um,
McMahon, Secretary of Education.
oh, that's Linda McMahon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She, yeah. Funny enough, the better half of the marriage with Vince McMahon.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine?
I mean, like my okay, there goes my dog. I'm watching. That's the reason I'm downstairs is because I'm watching the dog tonight, and so now y'all get to hear her. All right, nobody's here. I don't know what you're barking at. Everything's fine. The whole
Brody.
everything's fine. She was left by herself to tried to trust her and left her by herself for a little bit today, and it didn't work because she climbed up, somehow got up on the television stand and pulled down a bunch of Xbox games and chewed one of them. So, all right, Brody, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah.
Brody. Oh
I know
my God.
you got something stuck in your mouth. You're fine. But yeah, so he's not gonna support RIK or Tulsi Gabbard, but like fucking I don't trust that dude. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Um but yeah, I mean the other thing that I do appreciate and is making me feel a little better, not like all the way back, but like a little better is we are at least starting to see some resistance. We are starting to see some people go out in the streets and protest, and I mean we are starting to get some of that. And I think once some of the impact of Musk cutting a bunch of stuff that people depend on, once that really hits home, I think it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, if he in any way interrupts my mom's disability payments, then
Yeah,
just use your brain to fill in the actionable thread I'm gonna make here.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Just ask what's his name about Chuck Schumer about actionable threats. We did get an email.
ugh, God.
Yeah. Nobody cares about that one. I think pretty much everybody had your back on that one.
God, useless man. Useless.
Utterly.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You
But
know who also frustrates me in a different way is Hakeem Jeffries. I mean, like,
yeah,
at least Schumer and Pelosi have the excuse of being old as shit. Like,
I don't know what his deal is. Um it's not even worth thinking about, or trying to reason with. Like there's nothing to reason with or try or put any sense into because there is none. There's no sense or logic to this other than cruelty and, the most obvious power grab of all time and the most obvious displays of racism and sexism and transphobia um, that we've seen from a public official in a long time, especially in America.
I feel awful because I have no advice for my trans friends besides like, well, guess you should probably look at leaving the country.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, a lot of people don't have that option.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, believe me, I know. I've like
yeah, yeah,
we've been trying or thinking about it anyway for a while, and like obviously, I think everyone knows you can't just waltz into a foreign country just scratching your ass with a fork, like eating
yeah,
that you let in. But like even with the sales pitch I could make, which is basically like, look, we have enough money to be at least a little sufficient, like self-sufficient when we
yeah,
first um I will learn the language, well, I mean, I already have a decent grasp of like written Norwegian. My accent needs work, but I'm okay at spoken, I hear. Anyway, and it's just like, look, I'll speak Norwegian. I'll we'll fucking support ourselves till I can find a job. And when I do find a job, we'll work till I'm dead. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
even it is a tough pitch,
It
like
is. Yeah. The most I can tell people in that situation is like, make sure you know who your friends are, and don't be afraid to reach out to them if you can, because if I can help people in any way, no matter what it is, even if it's just letting them, get shit out of off their chest. I mean that's something. Um, but I think that's a good. I think there's also another good thing I think to remember is that I know it feels like half the country is against these people. It's really not the case. Um, I mean, Trump supporters they're not half the country. Trump supporters are about 30% of the country. Because let's remember, a lot of fucking people didn't vote. And he got fewer votes this time than he got, was it last time? I just heard the statistic and I can't think, but so it's not like an overwhelming embrace by this country of Donald Trump. That's just not a thing. So I think a lot of people are more on your side than not. And while that's easy for me to say as some straight white guy, um, I think it just bears remembering and thinking about that. Like there are more people here that don't wish you ill will as there are that do. So, you know, I would just say try to get comfort from, your community, from your friends, from any of your family that supports you. Anything, Send me a fucking message on the goddamn beer video. I'll talk.
yeah. Honestly, I think that like the weird like trans hate shit, um, I what I want to believe, my optimistic take, I think they may have kind of they may have overestimated how much people care about that.
Yeah,
I feel like, and I was saying this to a friend of mine that like even like maybe the average person does not understand um trans stuff on a personal level.
sure.
I myself in that like in that category. Like I have no idea what it feels like to be a trans person.
Yeah,
But also it's like I I know like a fair few trans people, and even if I find like I the the gender stuff a little confusing, basically I want you to be able to live your life without like pain or harassment.
yeah,
And like I think like when it comes down to it, I feel like most people probably feel the same way I do, where it's just like, well, I don't quite get it. Um, I don't understand what it's like, but also I don't think you should be bothered.
yeah.
You know?
Yep, agreed. It's not your problem. Um, they're not the ones that are making egg prices expensive. They're not the ones that are making inflation go up. Well, I know it's not going up as much now, but
You
uh,
know,
they're not the
you're
ones taking they're not hurting you. You've been led to believe that they are, but they're not.
yeah. Do you think they're gonna confirm RFK, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't know. I don't like that I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he gets approved. It wouldn't shock me at all. Um, wouldn't shock me at all. But That's another thing that, if there's another pandemic, if there's, something like that happens and they don't do anything, you're gonna have fucking problems on your hand because people are not gonna be. That's
Maybe,
another thing. If the people that are anti-vax and anti-science and all that shit, that's not the majority of people. It's just not. And
yeah, I feel like it's a very loud, like, group of
yeah,
people, schmucks, basically.
yeah, yeah, dum-dums, idiots, morons.
But, yeah, I feel like a certain subgroup of people just got their entire mind shattered by like having COVID, and like that's kind of informed their entire politics and worldview ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't argue that. And I mean, look, people did get pretty. I mean, it was a fucked up time, like, right? Those few years were just a bizarre time. I mean, we probably culturally have some PTSD from that, just from going through that whole thing. And um, if you want to stop that from happening again, then fucking do something about it. And but they don't seem to have any use for science. So I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up, but
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. I don't know. A lot of
these
dum-dums.
that like their personal like wish casting is what drives the universe, like, oh, well, I don't think COVID's a big deal, then obviously it's not.
I mean, yeah, let's say we have another pandemic, like or whatever. I'm fine next time with then like make a vaccine if you want to make it optional. That's fine. Make it optional because the people who understand that science and health and all those things are legitimate and that we should listen to doctors, those people will go and take care of their shit. And the people that listen to a fat bloated idiot on television telling them how to handle their health, then go for it. Go for it because that shit will even out.
God, yeah, just take the horse paste.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
Also, okay, as a BJJ person, can I just say
yeah,
I hate Joe Rogan. I hate him so much. I hate him so
yeah,
fucking bad, man.
yeah. Yep.
Like, just fucking half wit. Not even like
Yeah,
quarter wit, maybe. Oh, um, you know, I thought his interview style was fine when he kind of knew he was not very smart.
yeah,
Um, but it's gotten like considerably worse since he's like had a lot of people blowing smoke up his ass, and like he's decided he's actually a smart boy,
yeah,
you know. Um, and I generally so now like when he's got it used to be like, he'd have I don't know, like some reasonably smart science person on there and be like, huh, didn't know that. Cool.
yeah,
Like the whole interview. And now it's just like, he's just like, are you sure about that? Are you sure? It's like,
yeah,
bro, he's got his PhD. Like,
yeah,
you are a fight commentator. Like,
yeah,
you, you're just fucking, you gabble about blood sports for a living, basically.
yeah. And your audience is the dumbest of the dumb. Like people who just have no interest in challenging things that are said on that show. They're just there to listen to a meathead talk and think he's intelligent because for some reason he's fooled them into thinking that. Um,
Yeah.
it's your Andrew Tates of the world that are just he's fucking scamming you, dude.
Speaking
Stop
of,
listening to an idiot. He doesn't have a background. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And there is a way to ask a question that is damaging to the conversation you're trying to have. And I feel like the way he poses questions is damaging to the conversation because there is an intent behind those questions of he's putting his belief above actually getting
It
to the heart of the facts.
kind of bums me out, honestly, because like, you know, I feel like prior to um maybe modern day or Joe's Rogan's be like be a little more humble about how they approach things, like I don't know, like when I have to learn about any kind of science or math topic, not super knowledgeable about those fields, so I'm just like, like I will ask someone and I will approach this like the idiot I am. I'm hearing. Look at that.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
fussing with my hands. With I have a necklace that I made out of this weave, so I'm making a matching earring set.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like just the internet. God, I sound right now, but like I feel like it's encouraged. What's it called? Dunning-Kruger
Yeah.
syndrome, where it's like you learn a little bit about something,
Yeah.
and then you decide that you're the smartest. You're the smart boy.
You know everything about
Right, like I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago, like I have a friend who decided to like cut me off completely when um they learned that China is not a complete backwater, and um I was like, well, they still got some problems. And so it's just like, oh, okay, so you learned that like maybe every single negative stereotype about China being like a nation of dirty eating peasants isn't true.
it. Yeah, at all.
So yeah, right? Like there's multiple cities that are like bigger than any US city. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
People have homes, they have jobs. In fact,
But
most people own their homes.
yeah, actually like if you live in kind of a bigger city in China, you probably are having a good time, like but the thing is not everyone lives in a first tier city.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, like just because you're on a social network that's mostly people with money in like these bigger cities in China doesn't mean like you have like a full-on idea of what life is like everywhere
Right.
in
Yeah.
a big country, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna make those, if you're gonna make those insinuations, you should maybe just go visit the place you're trying to be an expert on, and you're not, and see what it's really like, because it's probably a lot different than what you're thinking, which we
Yeah.
learned, because like whenever the TikTok ban happened, we started seeing more Americans started to see more Chinese content creators, and they were kind of giving the US audience now like this kind of, I don't know, like a day in the life tour of like what their lives are like. And you'd be shocked to find out how similar they are to ours, like shockingly similar, but they cost less.
It was funny. It was seeing like um there was one like blue sky I think thread that went a bit viral that was like, "Oh my God, look at this Chinese person talking about how horrible it is that we sell plasma here in the US." And that I think kind of gets at what I was talking about because
Yeah.
like, you
They
know,
couldn't believe that we paid for an ambulance ride.
there is a plasma industry in China,
Yeah.
right? And there was actually like a pretty big scandal a few years ago over like there was an issue with some like contaminated blood products that led to like a massive AIDS outbreak there.
Yeah.
So this was just a case of like someone from like a first tier city in China who maybe like has a decent amount of money, just kind of assuming this shit doesn't happen in their country as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I don't know. I mean, I think um yeah, maybe don't base your understanding of an entire country on like their well-to-do influencers. Maybe that's a pretty silly idea, eh?
Yeah.
Um, but also like, yeah, most people in most countries everywhere are just looking to like live their lives and just exist free of, state harassment.
Yeah, it's not much to ask, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, we are getting toward the end here. We are running out of time rapidly. I do want to say that I'm going to leave this on a what's it could be a humorous or disgusting note. The Kendrick Lamar halftime performance is on, and I can just imagine the white people on Twitter right now losing their fucking minds. So
I
big
don't
babies.
follow hip hop, but Jesus Christ. God, is Drake crying right now, you
God,
think?
I hope so. Yeah, it'd be amazing. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention because we were doing this, but I'm sure he probably made some sort of reference. So
There's, I don't remember because Kendrick Lamar has multiple songs about how much he hates Drake.
yeah,
Um, and I think that's so great. Um, he just like is like he's talking about like, I hate your face, I hate your clothes, I hate literally every trivial thing about what you do. It's like,
yeah,
man, I
yeah,
don't think I've hated anything as much as Kendrick Lamar hates Drake.
yeah.
I think he hates Drake more than you hate pickles.
And on that note, it's been the beer video. We'll be back next week with more beers and fuck the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.